get some water.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we're starting with Jim White from TalkSport.
James.
Yeah.
Wow.
Graham and Dave are both in Burger King at the airport. They're flying out to Denmark as soon as you're done.
We won't tell you what he's drinking.
They've both got bottles of water in front of them, I'm sure.
Graham and who?
Yeah.
Graham and...
Graham and Dave.
Oh, Dave, right, okay. Yeah.
Hi guys, thanks for waiting. We'll get started with Jim at TalkSport. We'll try and get around as many people as we can in the time, so if we keep it to a couple of questions each, and there's no embargo on this one. So Jim, over to you.
Brendan, Rodgers, good morning to you, sir.
Hi Jim, you okay?
I'm fine, how are you keeping? Are you missing the east end of Glasgow?
Obviously.
Here I go. Brendan, good morning to you. There's been a lot of, what would you call it, public indifference towards the Europa Conference League. Do you now view this as a serious European competition that's well worth winning?
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. I think I'd mentioned before when we'd lost to Napoli that we were only looking forward in terms of trying to qualify out of that group. And of course, that was my only focus, and it was respectfully, that was what we were trying to do. But once we didn't do that, and we dropped into this competition, it's what I said last week. You know, we grew up with 3 European competitions in the European Cup and the UEFA Cup and the Cup Winners' Cup, and for us this is a tournament that you only need to look at some of the teams in there, prestigious names, and obviously when you're in it, you want to go all the way and win it. So that's our idea.
Brendan, you're approaching your 3-year anniversary, and your many achievements in the game are well documented. I think I know you well enough to ask you this. Have you been hurt by some of the criticism that's been aimed at you this season? No, listen, Jimmy, you're always open to criticism in this game if you're not getting the results. And of course, what we have achieved over the period of time we've been here has been fantastic. But listen, in the modern game, credit in the bank doesn't last at all. I don't even think there's any there now. So, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is you need to get results. And I never get too emotional with words, to be honest. I'm experienced enough now, and I just tried to use and look at the logic in it. You know, we've had very important players missing this year, and that has led to an inconsistency. But I have to say, over these last few weeks and games, especially against Wolves, we really, playing Wolves and West Ham, teams that have been probably up there challenging, like we were for a few seasons, seeing our performance level in those games has been really, really pleasing. So I think hopefully we're on our way back to a level that we've been accustomed to over the last few years. You have suggested, Brendan, that there would be something of a rebuild come the summer. What would you hope the results of that rebuild would bring?
No, I think it's just natural, Jim. It's just a healthy shake-up of any squad is important. You know, sometimes the best coach is competition, and we get some really talented players here, and it's not just so much players moving on. It's also bringing players in that can really compete and challenge the first team. So yeah, that's important. Competition is very, very important. We've still got young players that are developing here, and like I said, we've got experienced players that are fantastic professionals. But I think any team needs refreshing, and especially if they're doing well. But that would be the idea. Come the summer, hopefully we can do that.
So you've had 3 years, Brendan. Over the next 3 years, is your vision and your aim to win something significant, to even replicate what Ranieri managed to achieve at Leicester?
Well, that's clearly it was a very, very it was such an iconic achievement that they'd made at that time, and listen, but we would always do our best, Jim, and we've won the FA Cup and the Community Shield in my time here, and I think for me the overall vision is to continue to challenge and try and disrupt the top teams in this country. That's always been my goal, and coming to here, play a brand of football the people enjoy watching, and the supporters enjoy watching in particular, and they get excited about. And obviously the continuation of developing our academy and young players from the academy base. So that vision will be here for as long as I'm here. And like I said, I've enjoyed every minute of being here. This year's been a challenge, of course, but for numbers of reasons. But it's been really enjoyable. So hopefully we can continue.
Okay, thanks, Jim. We'll throw to Owen at BBC Radio Leicester.
Hi there, Brendan. Hope you're okay.
Hi, on.
I wonder whether I could ask about any fresh injury concerns that you might have going into this game, and whether Harvey Barnes might be fit enough to travel today.
Yeah. Harvey trained yesterday, so yeah, it wasn't good for the weekend, but should be fine for that. Ricardo Pereira, we just need to assess and look at. The plan for him is obviously working well at the moment, and we just have to be careful with him when we put him into those extra games during the week. So yeah, we'll finalise that there today, but the likelihood is that he wouldn't travel.
And Wesley Fofana was shown to be back training with the squad yesterday. How has he got on being back in with the first team training? And is there now a time scale on his return to first team football, or is this something you have to take quite delicately?
Yeah, we'll have to be careful with Wesley, but we'll manage that. He just obviously joined training, so he's not imminently close to playing. So. But we'll give him a few weeks training with the squad, and then we'll take it from there, really. But just to see him back in training, it really shows you what we've missed. That this is a genuine top talent, and when you see him come back in, it was like that first day when he came in to train, when he joined us. Just that it's a different mentality. It's an aggression. It's an anticipation. It's just sheer quality that the boy has. So yeah, we'll just build him up, and there's no doubt when he gets back to playing, it'll be great to have him back in the team.
What are the lessons that you maybe learned from Randers last week that you'll be able to take into this game as foresight?
Well, I think for us, it's us playing our game, playing our football with that aggression and tempo in the game, and looking to create lots of chances. Just listening to their manager afterwards, I think that there'll be maybe a more aggressive game, so we'll have to be ready for that. So I think they'll want to be competitive and compete and show that they can challenge us. So we have to be ready for that. But they've got some good players if you let them play. So for us, we have to be really hungry. We have to forget about the scoreline and go there and be very competitive physically, and then we can play our football.
Thanks, Owen. We'll go to Emma Patton from Sky Sports.
Hi, Brendan. Nice to see you.
Hi, Emma.
Hiya. I know you spoke a minute ago when you were talking to Jim about, I suppose, the improved performances against the likes of West Ham and Wolves. What are you seeing day to day? Because obviously everyone's focused on the outcome, everyone's focused on results. That's what football's all about. But what are you seeing day to day to kind of, I suppose, assure you that you can go far in this competition, hopefully win some silverware, and in a way get out of that slump in the Premier League as well? Yeah.
I've always been performance related, Emma, knowing that it's that consequently leads to positive results. So performance wise, as I said, the mentality in training's very good. Obviously we're playing a lot of games, so there's very little full group training, because one group is playing, recovering, and the guys who haven't played are training. But we're seeing a spirit and a mentality, and I think that when you play well and you don't get the result, then it's a lot easier to take, because you can analyse and look and see the small areas for improvement. But yeah, that was our concentration, really, just getting to our level of football and getting that fluidity back in the team, and real good tactical organisation in the team, and yeah, we can see the benefits of that. But day to day, these players they're always really good lads. They want to work, and that's never an issue.
And obviously you said last week, firstly, that you're here to win this competition, and obviously it is a brilliant chance of silverware this season. I know that there's still a little bit further to go, but if you were to win this, would that be seen as a success for Leicester this season?
I don't really think of that, to be honest. I think it's one where I think every coach and manager that's in the competition now will say that they're in it to win it. So for us, we just got to get through this game, get into the last 16 and work our way through the rounds. There's very good teams in it. So, but we have to just concentrate on ourselves, really, and get the job done.
Thanks, Emma. We'll go to Tom Colomosi in the Departures Lounge at Stansted.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Tom. What time's your flight?
Can you hear me all right?
What time's your flight?
About midday, 12:30, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope you can hear me all right. Connection's a bit dodgy.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll leave it to one question. There's no history of this club being in Europe regularly and done incredibly well to be in 2 seasons in a row. How important is it for the future, both on and off the pitch, to be in Europe every season or nearly every season?
Well, yeah. Clearly, you want to progress and have that ambition as a club. Then that's what you want to be achieving. You know, we don't take it for granted. Over the last few seasons, we've had to work so hard and consistently get results. But of course, it's where you want to be. And I said that when I first arrived in. You know, could we become a team that plays regular European football? Because that increases your experience as players, and of course as a club, it puts you out there on the European map. So yeah, that's clearly an objective of ours, and we will fight and do everything we can to achieve that this season.
Thank you, Secretary.
You too. Cheers, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go to Jonas.
Hi, Brendan. Jonas.
Hi,
Media.
Jonas. Hi.
Last time against Randers, Yannick Vestergaard was in your lineup. In the weekend, he was out. Can we expect him to show up for tomorrow?
He's definitely travelling.
Lineup.
Yeah, he will definitely travel with the squad. Yeah.
What about the starting lineup?
You see tomorrow. The game is tomorrow, so you'll see.
Can you tell us about your assessment of his game against Randers?
Yeah, I thought he was excellent. I think he's experienced. You know, he's an international football player who's got very good qualities. He's experienced. He's a good guy, and yeah, he came into the team and showed his defensive qualities and his qualities with the ball. So yeah, I thought he was very good.
Thanks, Jonas. We'll go to Jordan Blackwell from Leicester Mercury.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Jordan.
I know you spoke to Owen about Wesley Fofana. We saw the club put out a clip of him in training, and he looked extremely excited to be back out there. What's his mood like, and also has his return even to training, improved the mood of the rest of the squad?
Yeah, I think that firstly, Jordan, he is throughout his rehabilitation, he's been superb. You know, for a young player in particular, it's his first real big injury, and it's been hard for him to be out, but he really focused on it. He's worked ever so hard, so great to have him back. And yeah, I think when you bring in a player, it was like JJ coming back in, you see the quality of the player that you're missing when they're back in to the group, so that gives the group a boost. And obviously then when Wesley comes in as well, because he's a genuine top player. And when you have that genuine qualities, just the mentality of him, he's aggressive, he fights for every ball, he's competitive, and then when he has the ball, he's big quality. So to have that back in your training will always improve the level, and it's great for me to see that that's on its way back into the team.
And you said about Ricardo probably not travelling. Obviously, you've kind of been resting for these midweek games. I know you said earlier in the season that you'd had a meeting with the medical staff about trying to limit the number of injuries. Is that something that's come out of that? Maybe learning to not play a player back from injuries so often?
No, it's not at all. He's just had a few disrupted comebacks in his time. Some of it has been unfortunate, but I just think with him on this one, we just want to just make sure, I think that we'll always go with the feel of the players, and obviously what we're trying to build also a robust team. So we want players to be able to play 3 times a week. You know, you're going to have to be, if you want to be in European football and you want to compete in European competitions, you have to be ready to be playing 50 plus games a season. You know, so but I just think in Ricky's specific case, you know, he's had a couple of comebacks that just hasn't quite worked for him, and then wasn't quite back to the level that we wanted him at last season. But I think now you've seen in the last couple of appearances, especially against Wolves, that player that we all love and we admire. So, but we just need to be careful with it. So that's something we've discussed. And for him specifically, yeah, coming back from long-term injury, we have to be careful.
Okay, thanks, Jordan. We'll go to John Percy from The Telegraph.
Hi, Brendan, you okay?
Yes, good, John. Yeah.
I think I think it's Monday, you passed your 3-year anniversary. I mean, obviously 3 years in management now is obviously a brilliant achievement. You always talk about building the club and obviously making more history and moments. You must feel that you've still got so much more you can achieve at Leicester.
Yeah, I've said on my way along, and listen, and the time I've been here, John, I've been asked numerous times about other clubs and interests and everything else, but hopefully from you guys who've been on the journey with us, that I've always maintained my focus here at Leicester, and that's because I genuinely believe that, you know, when I come in, that we could achieve something, which we've been able to do. And we need to keep writing chapters here at the football club. And so, yeah, this season, of course, has been a challenge. But as I said earlier, logically, if you look at it, you know, you miss players, and our squad is not deep enough. That's the reality of it. We don't have the depth of quality of a lot of teams. So when we have the players that has been missing, that will affect performance. You know, and of course, it's we have to still be open to criticism if we don't make the results. But over the course of my time here, the players have been great. We've achieved something, and we're very hungry to continue with that. And I'm excited by that.
And just finally, on Yuri, I thought he was outstanding against Wolves on Sunday. Since the Forest match, he probably more than anyone seems to have really stepped up. You know, he's not let that get to him. Is that what you've noticed as well?
Yeah, I had a good chat with Yuri last week, and the message I said to the players afterwards, it was for the benefit of them all, not just one player. You know, and I think hopefully we've seen the response to that, because like I said, these are all good guys, and sometimes success can soften you, and it's something that, you know, for us all, the Nottingham Forest game is a real chance to reflect and look at our levels of desire and passion, and because the qualities undoubted, you know, the players have got great qualities, but collectively and individually we needed to have a look at ourselves, and the response from that has been very, very good. So we need to continue on that path, and if we do that, aligned with some of our players coming back, then we can have a really exciting finish to the season.
Thanks, John. We'll finish with one from Rasmus.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Brendan. How are you?
Hi, Rasmus. Okay.
Hi, thank you. Danish media. Brendan, are there any players from the Randers squad after the first game that you had prepared for in particular? I mean, in the first half, some of the offensive players caused a bit of problems for you defensively, and you managed to get it more under control in the second half. But yeah, have you discussed any player in particular?
Yeah, no. I think the team collectively was very good. You know, I thought that obviously how Randers play with the wingers coming on the inside, so there are lots of bodies. Vito dropping in, who's a really gifted player technically. So we have to be aware of making sure our spaces are closed. So I thought collectively they had good concentration. I thought we played well on the night, which is what we achieved to do, and we were able to use our game and our qualities well. But we have to be concentrated. Like I said, I heard the manager speak afterwards, feeling that the team could have been more competitive. So we have to expect a physical game, but that's what we get every week in the Premier League. But for us, our mentality, that focus and mentality has to be right. And our objective is we want to go and win the game and get into the last 16.
Okay, thanks everyone. We'll